Good evening. Hello, everyone. Can we get a thumbs up that we can be heard? Some sort of signal that we can be heard. Tech services, Cats, can you confirm for me that you all can hear us? Thank you. And I'm not seeing our legal counsel on tonight, but I do want to go on record and say that we are officially starting the Monroe County Women's Commission meeting at 5:35 p.m. We need assistance from county government to make sure we can access our meeting location. Today, again, our building or the building was locked and we could not get in. So shout out to, I think it's the Environmental Commission that's meeting downstairs that held the door open for us. And when we did a swap, we need our commissioners to be able to have access to the meeting location. And anyone who's joining us from the public, we need them to be able to do that as well. Good to see all of you. Our second in-person meeting, yay. One of these days it's gonna roll out so soon. Like we're just gonna show up, we're just gonna get into the meeting, we're gonna handle business, we're gonna get out of here, okay? So thank you all for the flexibility. All right, we have a lot that we need to accomplish and discuss today. So first things first, do we have any amendments or additions to the agenda? If not, we'll take a vote to approve the agenda. We'll start with the motion.
A motion to approve.
I second.
Wonderful. All in favor of approving our agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I'm gonna ask one of you all to do me a wonderful favor. Our liaison from the Bloomington Commission is downstairs and can't get in because the door is locked. Thank you, Commissioner Nikki. Appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna wait to do any more votes, but just throwing it out here, our minutes, we did not capture written minutes in our last meeting. So we are going to retroactively do that by watching the recording and compiling minutes from the recording, okay? So just so we all know, and actually, if I bump back to the approval of the agenda, I would request that we add an agenda item and discuss a commission secretary. We need someone who's gonna be tasked to do these things. I recommend that it not be me as the chair. I don't even know if it can be me as the chair. But we can have this discussion at another meeting. I would like to suggest that we need a secretary and a vice chair. And if anyone is interested in that, we can talk about those roles and responsibilities. Secretary's main role is to make sure we're keeping things tight and organized. Agendas are going out, minutes get to the Board of Commissioners office, because those meeting minutes and agendas have to be published online. We are subject to open door policies, so that has to happen. So the secretary will be responsible for that. Vice chair co-facilitates and collaborates on the functioning of these meetings. Now, I understand, and I'll repeat all this when Nikki comes back. I understand that all of you are literally new. Every last one of you are new commissioners. So if you're not quite ready to step into the vice chair role, perfectly fine. But the secretary role, I think, can be done by anybody. So we'll pause just for a few moments to allow Commissioner Nikki to return and to allow our BCSW liaison to get into the building, and then we'll jump back in. All right, friends, we are back. We had a special guest join us and we'll give her a chance to get settled and then we'll do an introduction soon. But Nikki, something I was bringing up before or while you had stepped out, we need a secretary and I would encourage a vice chair for this commission. The secretary is necessary. We have got to identify someone who will serve as a secretary. The primary role of a secretary is to capture minutes. So we did not record written minutes for our last meeting. Okay, so we're gonna have to retroactively do that. But also this person makes sure that the meeting minutes and agendas get to our Board of Commissioners so that this stuff can be published online, okay? The vice chair is the person who works hand in hand with the chair. You can facilitate meetings, you can, since you do most of the things that the chair does, okay? I recognize that everyone is new. And stepping into a vice chair role may seem like a lot, especially after only your second meeting, okay? So I'm not going to push anyone to be a vice chair right now. But at the start of the year, I will be doing some one-on-one conversations to see who would at least be interested. And then let's prepare you for that role, okay? But we do need a secretary. And so we don't have to vote on that today in case anyone wants to do a one-on-one in chat. But in our October meeting, we'll need to designate that. Okay, so our agenda approved. Our minutes, we don't have. Okay, so we're gonna come back to that. So I'll jump into a chair report. So we still have some commissioner vacancies. We need one more appointment by the county council. They have a recommendation for a person. I don't think I can even say her name. I won't say her name just in case anything crazy happens. But they do have a person that is on their agenda or will be added to their agenda to approve at their next meeting. The Board of Commissioners, they have a 1+1. You'll see that on the agenda. So they have one more vacancy that they need to appoint for. I have sent them an application for recommendation. Both of these people that we're recommending are phenomenal leaders and they're engaged in the community and spaces where we are not. So that's going to bring another lens, another angle or voice to the table. The commissioners also need to designate their ex officio appointment. So the county council has designated Councilor Crossley, Jennifer Crossley. Board of Commissioners needs to give us someone. I am continuously nudging. If you all decide we want to nudge with you, I can send you the contact information for our Board of Commissioners, because if we can get those 3 appointments, we are not going to be in such tough positions when it comes to meeting quorums, okay? Any questions about those appointments, those vacancies? Okay, and then we have, oh, I realized I spelled something wrong on the agenda, but we have Ashley Hazel Rigg, who's joining us from here on out, or at least until there's a new appointment, right?
For a little bit.
It's you for a little bit, okay, great. So Ashley, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Ashley Hazel Rigg. I am the co-chair for the Commission on the Status of Women for the City of Bloomington. I've been working on the commission since 2015, and I've been co-commissioner for the past 3 years, or co-commissioner, co-chair since for the last 3 years. Very, very much engaged with this work. Happy to sit on this commission in our voting seat that should be filled all of the time. Preferably by someone that's going to be doing it, for a long time, because we want to be able to foster this relationship between these 2 commissions. We want to be able to understand what it is that your needs are, because they very much likely overlap with a lot of our needs and a lot of the work that you're doing. Be able to offer you some extra hands if needed, and hopefully reciprocate that back to us. So very excited to be here. This is actually my first county commission meeting that I think I've ever been to. So I'm very excited, and we're excited to have a closer relationship with this commission. So thank you for having me, and thank you for making sure that this seat got filled.
We are so happy that you're here. I will say, in my personal opinion, there's a lot of mess that goes on between the city and the county. But one set of groups that have not seen being that mess and that chaos are the women's commissions. BCSW and MCWC for a long time has been able to work well with each other. We've produced reports, we've co-hosted events, we've supported efforts. And some of this even precedes me. Okay, so I am glad that we have you all back at the table. We were very intentional when we did our ordinance. I think it was in 2019. We were very intentional to make sure that BCSW had a voting seat here. So we don't want them to just come and be a fly on the wall. What is happening at the city level is absolutely important with the county. Okay, so thank you. We're so happy you're here. Because BCSW comes to our meetings, we also have an opportunity to go and attend their meetings. Can you tell us a little bit about BCSW meetings? When are they? Where are they? And then I will put a charge out to the commissioners. We do need a liaison that should be attending. And are we voting on?
No.
No, okay. So we do not have a voting seat on the city commission, so we still can be a part of.
What you say matters. Just know that even though you're not raising your hand and yaying your name, your opinion matters.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your meetings.
Our meetings are the first Thursday of the month, 5:30, just next door in City Hall. We are currently still hybrid. So if you aren't able to make it in person, you're more than welcome to just click on the community link and join the meeting that way. We typically try to run them within time frame. So we're usually done wrapping up around 6:30. If we're not, we understand that we're not probably going to do much voting business after that 6:30 mark. So we're pretty timely. And to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on right now, we just wrapped up our awards ceremony that we had, which was us catching up on a lot of things from Women's History Month for the past 3 years. One of our award recipients is your chair. We were very excited to do that first in-person event since 2020. 2019 technically, because we didn't have anything in 2020. We have a legislation subcommittee that's working with our capstone. We have a capstone class at IU that's done a lot of great research for us in terms of what are the issues and how do we get good data that's centered around women. Because a lot of the data that's out there, you'll find is not broken out by gender and age, and some of it even not by how much you earn. So it's important for us to be able to capture that. We have a survey going right now to inform our current capstone class. And then what else do we have going on? We're about to start our planning season for Women's History Month. We usually hop into that November, December to kind of start getting things rolling. It's a big production for us. We give out 4 awards. We have 2 big events, and those are the Women's History Month Luncheon, which is normally a very well-attended event, over 300 people. The county commission's typically been a big part of us helping to plan that. We'd like to have someone from your commission be on that planning committee. That doesn't necessarily need to be the liaison. We also have our Women's Leadership Development event in the month of March that is typically meant to capture younger audiences or audiences that might not have the accessibility for that middle of the day luncheon of the Women's History Month luncheon. We typically provide childcare during that, and it's more fun and less stuffy, and it's really celebrating the development of women's leadership in town. So that's what we've got going on right now. If any of that sounds interesting, please let me know.
It all sounds interesting all the time, of course. I will also brag on you all and say the award ceremony was beautiful. It went so well. And then there are these 2 young ladies. What are their names?
Did they blow you away?
Oh my gosh, I posted about them. I said, if anybody is worried about our future, look these 2 girls up.
Okay.
Elise and Delaney, they're students at Bloomington High School South. They're doing a really cool project that they're hoping to help inform school boards and the state, hopefully, to make women's history a focus within the study that is required in the curriculum. Right now, I think they said, and don't quote me on this, I don't know if it's right, but I think they said, up until between kindergarten and 12th grade, you're only required to learn about 3 women. 2 of them are fictional. Yeah, so it's good work that they're doing, and they've really dug in, they did their work, they have the data, they are very, very wonderful young women, and they happen to also be our high school liaisons, so they will be at all of our meetings. So we'll be able to hear more about their projects. What's it called?
I cannot remember the name.
I got the cute little earrings though in my.
Oh, yeah.
In my bag.
Yes.
So I mean, they delivered a presentation like they were literally standing on the steps of like the White House, and there were like millions of people in front of them. There was no fear. I mean, there was no script or anything. They were just like, here we are.
Down.
This is what you need to know. And I was just like, first of all, I did not know that was the state of curriculum for history in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
But the way that I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, these girls have doctorates already. Like they're like younger than 18 and they're brilliant.
I think they're only freshmen.
Yeah, they're freshmen.
Are they really?
In middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started this project
Yeah.
2 years ago in middle school.
It was amazing. So
Wow.
great job. The event was beautiful. Great work. First glance, does anyone have availability to attend those BCSW meetings first Thursdays at 5:30? You do?
I'd love to.
You would love to?
Good
Okay.
for you.
So then, wonderful. Commissioner Susan, thank you so much. We're happy to have that. And then essentially, you just bring us back anything that we need to know. I mean, well, we have them at our meetings as well, but there's stuff that we need to be thinking about or updates that we need in between the meetings. Feel free to send us our way. Great. Okay, let's talk a little bit about commission expectations. In our last meeting, we voted on the hybrid meeting policy. There was an error in how we voted because I misinformed you all. I thought we could calculate quorum based on the number of people that we have seated. It's not the case. We have to calculate quorum based on the number of seats on the commission total. So there's 11 seats. We must always have 6 people in person in order to meet quorum, okay? Anyone beyond that 6 may join hybrid with prior communication. So I wanted to make sure we circle back and clear that up. We must always have 6 people in person to meet quorum. I'm not sure if I've told you all this one-on-one, but another way to ensure that we are meeting quorum is if you know that you're going to be absent. So for example, Commissioner Tiana knew that she was going to be absent today due to a family requirement or commitment. And so she was able to grant proxy. Okay, so giving proxy to one of the fellow commissioners allows us to be able to handle business and vote as though you are here. But that proxy has to be given in advance. You can't call in the middle of the meeting and say, oh, Michelle, I forgot what's coming. Can you, can't do it that way, okay? So that's the hybrid meeting policy. Any questions about it? Okay, meeting day. We have been, when I met with each of you one-on-one, we talked about third Thursdays, 5:30. Counselor Crossley has a standing conflict on third Thursdays. Third Thursdays? Yeah, 5:30, okay? So this week's, and maybe for the next couple weeks, they're in budget session for the county council. But in general, I think there's another group that she's committed to attending prior to being assigned our commission. So here's a couple of things. I sent this all out to you in an email for consideration. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We can choose to move the meeting, or we can continue to stick with our third Thursdays, but keep Counselor Crossley updated outside of these meetings, like making sure we're sending timely emails, making sure we're communicating through the minutes and the agenda. So you all had a few days to reflect on this. What are our thoughts?
And is her seat a voting seat?
Her seat is a voting seat. everyone who's seated on the county commission
Which
has a
means
vote.
that her absence does affect our quorum.
Absence does affect quorum.
And she could not denote a proxy? Well, I guess she can't come anytime, she would not.
I don't think the ex officio members can designate proxy, and I think ultimately that would undermine her assignment
Yeah.
from county council.
So what are our options for other dates? If that was in the email.
Whatever we could make work. I will be transparent and say, I'm stretched. Okay, my capacity is stretched. I think I'm on three other boards. And I have home that I need to balance and prioritize. That is my focus in this season of life, being a mom and a wife. I won't say primary focus, but it's up there, you know? And I just started a new job as well. So I stayed committed to this because of the schedule that we all agreed upon when we all came on board, okay? So for me, I'm strapped, just being transparent. That does not mean, though, that we cannot change it. It just means that your chair may be joining hybrid quite a bit. And that would be something that you all can decide if we're okay with. I like being a person with you all, but, you know.
Would second Thursday be a problem? Or is that meeting that Commissioner has, is that a weekly thing?
I actually don't know. It's a question that we can ask. It is definitely a question that we can ask.
All of my Thursdays, other than the first one, where I'm at, the city one, for me, are pretty
Other
good.
Thursdays,
And
okay.
It's a good time. Accidentally went to the courthouse, or I would have been here on time. So, because I work literally a block over there. So.
Okay, okay. So for you, or any other Thursday except the first Thursday would work, okay?
I'm with you. I scheduled out this time because that's what you said.
Mhm.
When you said the meetings where I will be starting a new job as well.
Mhm.
And then I will probably have more evening events, to be honest.
Mhm.
But to your point, a Thursday would be okay. Tuesday, certain days would be out.
Mhm.
But just looking forward, I think Thursdays would be okay as far as I
Okay.
can tell.
Yes, I'm Tuesday or Thursday. Wednesdays are crazy.
Tuesdays or Tuesday or Thursday, Thursdays, okay. Other thoughts?
Thursdays.
Thursdays, okay,
Thursdays generally work for me,
okay,
with the exception of the second Thursday in November, but that's just a one time.
the one time, okay. Do we want to do every fourth Thursday? Just to, wait, is that gonna be Thanksgiving?
That's Thanksgiving.
We wouldn't meet then anyway, but
Fourth could be.
the only thing that I don't like about fourth Thursdays is you get to the end of the month and you haven't met at all and dealt with any of the business that has happened in that month. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the time we get through girls coding camp, we're gonna have made it through the whole month of October before we've been able to get back together as a commission and talk about what's going on with girls coding camp. At least when you have something within the month, you know, I kind of feel like you're in a sweet spot in the middle. But if we want to, for the remainder of 2022, if we want to adjust to fourth Thursdays, that Counselor Crossley can be here, and then we can reconsider in 2023, because we have to pick new dates, not new dates. We have to
Claire.
declare the meeting dates for 2023 anyway.
Okay.
So if we want to do that, we can. I'm saying fourth Thursdays, like, I know that that's gonna work for me. Hey, what am I talking about?
It sounded like it was gonna work.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely is Thanksgiving for November, so it's out of that month, just FYI.
and I won't be in town December. Oh, I will, just kidding.
Okay, so then If we do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. When is Christmas? It's
So-
25th.
So that falls on the for December, it falls, the fourth Thursday falls on the 22nd.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't interfere with the Christmas holiday necessarily.
But when do schools let out? Because people will probably be on travel.
The kids will be on winter break.
They will.
CCSC, yes, they start on after school on the 16th.
Okay.
That whole week they're out.
Well, we have quorum here. So we can and will be taking a vote. So we should try to get to some sort of consensus. I personally am recommending that we stick to third Thursdays for the remainder of this year and reconsider with 2023, because when you all signed on as commissioners, that was the understanding of the time. I think if it's important that we can get 6 people here for quorum, and I know that Commissioner Tiana would have been here as well for this time, rather than adjusting for one person who's incredibly important, and that vote does matter. But I think feasibility wise, I would recommend we stay with third Thursdays for the remainder of this year and then reconsider 2023.
Oh, I like that.
I'm open to that too, especially since we can reconsider and then
Mhm.
maybe bring commissioner
Yeah.
or council person Crossley back in.
Yeah.
And the 2 new people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In the next,
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yep.
kind of a reset, reevaluate what works.
That's actually a good point, because I've talked to both of them and told them third Thursdays at 5:30. Okay.
Okay.
So it sounds like we have third Thursdays at 5:30, but we, in our December meeting, we will be reconsidering that date and having these conversations for 2023. Okay, so we do need to get a formal vote on this. I'm hearing that we're voting to approve maintaining third Thursdays at 5:30 for the remainder of 2022. I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Okay, all in favor of third Thursday meeting times at 5:30, signify by aye. Aye. And any opposed or abstentions? Oh, I should have said aye. I'm an aye. Yes. Okay, all right, that's our meeting date. Thank you. Next, I feel like I am talking so much. I'm really trying to get through the share report. Okay. Women's Equality Week. The Board of Commissioners actually established a proclamation for Women's Equality Week. It is, let me get the exact dates for you all. I want to say it is this week. I don't want to lie. Let's see. Okay. So on August 31st, the Board of Commissioners proclaimed the week of September 4th through 10th as Women's Equality Week. So I will be picking up that proclamation from their office sometime soon. I just want to give you all that as an FYI, something I think is really, I will say, I don't know how this came about. I did not have any conversations with anyone. I was just told that this would happen. So we're going to embrace this opportunity and maybe even think about in our programming for next year, how do we recognize that for Monroe County, and thinking about, do we do something in partnership with Women's Equality Day? We can really imagine, we can really come up with what we want to. Women's Equality Day this year was Friday, August 26th. Is it August 26th every year? Might be. So just put that on your radar. That is something that happened from our Board of Commissioners. And then last chair update, Indiana Commission for Women. So I think I mentioned this to you all last year. The Indiana Commission for Women, which is chaired by Jordan Teskey Harrison. We used to have a relationship with them years ago, and then they underwent some changes with their leadership and their chair. Imagine the Women's Commission, but at the state level, okay? And they work with commissions all across the state. They have invited us to do a collaborative meeting. And that meeting is coming up. I will get you all the date for that. I do not remember it off the top of my head. But this is going to be a great resource for making sure that we are also making sure the voices of Monroe County women are heard at the state level, okay? And that does give us the opportunity to advocate for some legislation, which we know has been real interesting for the state of Indiana. So excited to be able to do that with you all. I think the meetings are on Tuesdays. First Tuesdays of each month from 2 to 3 o'clock, beginning October 4th. First Tuesdays of each month from 2 to 3 o'clock, beginning October 4th. So if any of you all decide, I would love to join those meetings, please let me know. You shoot me an email.
Is there a hybrid option for that?
Yep, they're virtual.
Oh, you said,
Mhm.
sorry.
I don't even think I said that, but they are virtual.
Is this something that just one person attends or more than one of us could attend?
You know, I think we should probably limit it to 2 people each time, just not, you know, because I know we could roll in deep and I don't want to dominate the meeting, right? But also I think that the 2 people that go, you have freedom to share your own personal opinions or perspectives, but also the reflections of our commission. So if we want, we can get on a rotational schedule with it. I will likely always go as the chair, but if another person wants to pop on or another 2 people, I have no problem playing a background role and supporting you all as we do this work. And BCSW is invited to this as well.
We have to be careful. If we have a quorum, then it's a meeting of us too. We have to post.
Oh, that's the same for us too. Meaning
So that's why we
anytime,
really want 2 people to go.
anytime we hit 6 people,
Oh, I see.
it's considered a meeting. Oh, I should also say to that point, if I send you an email and I say, hey, what do you think about this? If we actively discuss this via the email thread and make a decision, that counts as a meeting. We shouldn't do those things. So there are going to be times where I send you all an email and I say, hey, think about this. We need to have a discussion about it in the next meeting. That is me telling you, do not reply and discuss business with the commission on this thread, but be prepared to discuss it in the meeting. Because if we have the discussion and any business gets handled, it's considered a meeting.
And we'd have to post it, right? Yeah.
It is
that would be-
subject to open
Yeah,
door.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about anything crazy. If
Yeah,
anyone's
but just to
watching this,
know
but
that-
yeah,
That you're.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
good to know.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ashley. All right, continuing business. Let's talk about Girls Coding Camp. Susan, I saw you did some great work pricing the Sam's Club order. You want to tell us about that?
What would you like to see?
Well, if you want to run through,
I got,
and what our prices would be.
so. I can find that. You ready?
Thank you so much for doing that.
Mm,
Hey,
Gosh.
anytime there's shopping involved, that means.
Oh. No.
Heard it.
That's funny.
It's true. It's like,
That's great.
I'm good at that. So. I think one of the things I was curious about was if this was per time they meet or for like supposed to last the whole session.
So they will need snacks every time they meet. We will be leaving the snacks at the location. So if we decide to buy in bulk for the full 6 weeks, fine. If we decide to just buy on a weekly basis, that's fine as well.
Okay, so as I have it picked, it was per site.
Perfect.
Not that there's not a potential for obviously leftovers, but it was it was $12.68 for napkins for everybody, so $4.23 per site. Sanitizer is $7.48 per site or $22.44 total, and that could potentially last the whole time. Water is $4.48 per site or $14.46 total. Potentially, you know, at least a week, maybe two. Juice was $15.48 per site or $46.44 for all three. Again, enough maybe for 2 weeks. Fruit, I picked apples and bananas because those just seem like they have the best shelf life. But that was $8 per site or $24 for all three, $4 for bananas and $12 for all three. And those definitely are probably a weekly thing. Fruit snacks, I was just trying to think of something young kids would like, something easy that had a really good shelf life. Fruit snacks were $12.12. That definitely, I said could be split per site, but now definitely that could be something that would be lasting for more than 1 week, and that's $36.36. And pretzels were $7.48 per site. Those definitely could last a couple weeks. What I was pricing, and that's $22.44 for all three.
Okay, so the total per site is,
The total per site was $63.61
And that's per site per week.
per site per week.
Okay. Any questions about what Susan has pulled for us?
I mean, if there's any, I tried to pick things that I thought were healthy, that weren't, like fruit snacks and
Sure.
pretzels and things that,
Mhm.
whatever. So,
yeah, I thought they were good.
okay. No peanuts, no
Peanut butter, yep,
no
Yep,
peanuts, no,
that's right,
they
yep.
don't eat
nothing
gluten,
messy,
they can avoid the pretzels, I don't know.
Yeah.
nothing messy, nothing,
Yeah.
no, that was good too.
Thoughts, questions?
Oh, who's picking that? Who's,
I'm happy.
are you going to get?
I was like,
Okay.
Susan said she likes to shop, so I'm.
I smell the good Santa.
A couple of things about, so I really liked the list. And I think some of the stuff that we said, we would split across sites. Let's just make it easy and designate for the site.
Yes,
There was, granola bars.
oh, yeah,
Can we consider some granola bars maybe?
yes,
Okay. And then the way that, so a current challenge that we're having, and I wish our legal counsel was on tonight, we have not been able to figure out how this is going to get paid for. So we have a budget, we have the money allocated from the county. Initially, we thought we would just be able to invoice them, get the money, do what we need to do as though it was a grant, right? But now they're not dishing out the money that way. They're saying that all of the vendors have to individually invoice the county, which when it comes down to Sam's Club is not going to invoice the county.
They
They
might,
will.
they might. A lot of, especially Kroger, places like that, like MCCSD, they have an account. So they will invoice.
Who does the invoicing?
Like the actual vendor will do the invoicing. I bet you
They would
if
for
you
the.
talk to them, it's quite possible that the county has an account.
Okay. Can I assign that to someone? I will take that on. Because where it's getting messy is the county commissions don't have, this is not something that they've done for the other county commissions. So it's getting weird between who's gonna be handling this stuff logistically. I can take it to their admin and see what we can figure out, see if Sam's Club could invoice directly. Thanks for that. Okay. And then if they do invoice directly and they will allow you to just go shop, will you just go shop, Susan?
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay.
Do we need a plan B?
It's tight coming up with a plan B because technically commissioners are not allowed to pay for anything out of pocket. I don't think they'll reimburse us. We've run into this issue many times in the past. They slap my hand every time. They're like, you can't spend your own money.
I didn't know if maybe we wanted to look at another vendor that,
Like that would have a.
yeah, if Sam's
yeah.
Club wasn't able to bill.
Let me find out I've asked the county very specifically who their approved vendor list is that would be able to invoice them. And I was told by county legal that they don't have this list. They don't have approved vendors. So,
They do. They get catering, they have events, they do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're spending some money, so.
so I'm gonna go back, gonna circle back and see what I can figure out.
The county controller is,
Mm-mm.
that's who
That's who you would go to.
there's a controller, because I mean, through the city, we do the controller.
Mm. Okay. I will figure it out. All other invoices as far as for merchandise or swag and apparel. Treasurer,
It's gotta be the treasurer.
okay. Oh, yeah, I think the treasurer is still Jessica McClellan, who used to be
Oh.
our
There you go.
appointed person. So we'll figure that out. Okay. All other invoices are going to Jill Newman, and I think you all have that information. Any other what else is going on with?
So we're on track with the swag bags.
Oh, great.
As far as I know, I do have a slight concern with the t-shirts.
Okay.
Smithville is not being very
Sponsor.
responsive. So I will start making a phone call
Okay.
rather than emails now, so.
Yeah, okay. And then the t-shirts, we could budge and give those out at the end, right?
I mean, if necessary, but I
Okay.
mean, it'll be.
I love it, okay.
It's been handy.
It's been hit. I was definitely getting Olivia Pope vibes. If they are not responsive to your efforts, I think we can be okay with handing them out at the end of the summer, or not the summer, end of camp. It would be great to have them so that we can get some pictures of them in camp in their shirts. But if for whatever reason we can't, we'll try to get those. My homework is still to coordinate with IU and IB Tech on the campus visits. And then we'll have to circle back to our MCCSC and RBB connects to see what's going on with the buses. Another thing, so registration has been live. At the time of this meeting, we now have 26 girls registered. Super excited about that. Just to give you some insight into the girls, they're coming from Bachelor, Edgewood, Harmony. We have homeschool students, Jackson Creek, Lighthouse, St. Charles, Seven Oaks, and there's one more I can't see right now. So it was wonderful that we had that conversation about what about homeschool students and private schools. So that was great. So we are getting representation from many different schools. When we asked them, what do we say? Have they attended a camp before? 77% of them have said no. This will be their first time being able to do a coding camp. This is great. When we've asked them which locations they would like to attend, we have 50% of our students going to the Luddy School on Saturdays. This is a huge win for this partnership. We've not offered this camp on a Saturday before at an IU location. So to get this type of response is great. The next most registrations is for Edgewood, which we know that they're running their program a little bit different, right? So they're doing them immediately after school. So that's great. This is consistent with the number that they had last year. Our mill location, as of today, we have 3 students at the mill. I believe every student matters, and that just means they're going to get that dedicated one-on-one coaching and mentorship. But I would like to see more registrations to account for attrition. So we have 3 students registered, but if 2 back out, then you got one student in camp. Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? So it's possible that people don't know what the mill is. It's very possible. And if you're a busy parent, you may not have time to even do the Google, right? So I think that if we can push it out to our circles, what the mill is, it's like a state of the art, beautiful, facility, entrepreneurial spirits literally live there. And,
Okay.
and I think that might be helpful because for me, I think it's a great opportunity to go work in the mill, to be
Yeah.
in the venue.
Yeah.
So, but I have a feeling some people just may not know what that is,
I don't know
right?
what it is. Okay.
What it is and where it
Well,
is.
sure.
I think it's big,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's somewhat new to the
Mhm.
community, so I
Right.
think that's a good point that, on a random Tuesday, if I'm signing my kid up for something, I'm gonna be like, Edgewood, yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
The thing
so,
is, north side near west side, this is a very great location.
yeah, people can
Yeah.
walk. and-
right, it's right off the trail, like,
Yep, and
yeah.
it's from 4:30 to 6 on Fridays. The other thing that I love about the mill is a nonprofit. Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but it's a nonprofit. And so this aligns with really their mission to give back to communities and reach for students as well. And so just the buzz that will be generated in the place, the commitment that they have to giving some great instruction would be great. So if we can really keep pushing for registrations, great job on what we've been able to do so far. This is our first time hosting it back in person since the pandemic, right? So this is great. Let's keep pushing and let's do some emphasizing around the education. When asked, why do you want to participate in girls coding? Here are a few of the responses. My dad works with computers and I was inspired by him. I want to learn what it's about and to seek new careers for when I get older. So love that middle school students are thinking about careers. To know how coding will be useful in life, to get better with my own technology. I like math and thinking logically, and I would like to learn how this connects to coding. I did the Ivy Tech Verizon coding camp over the summer and liked it. So this is a returning student who did it when we did it virtually, and now they're coming back for an in-person
That's cool.
experience. I have a program called Osmo Coding Jam, and I really enjoyed it. And I also like working with computers. So these girls are excited. Most of them have heard about the camp from their communication from school, but some of them do report that they saw it on social media and that they got it from word of mouth. So the communication from the school is great, but we need to keep pushing some interpersonal invitation.
So any groups that you belong to on Facebook, neighborhood groups, Michelle and I have been posting on like that Bloomington, what's going on, and then some other just other kind of random groups that we belong to that, would get out, and like a free opportunity would be great for for a lot of people.
Wonderful. So something that needs to happen. Yes, Ashley.
The girls say social media, do they say where on social media they say it? Do you know what social media platforms it may be on?
I know most of us have been posting on Facebook and LinkedIn. I don't have a good pulse on Instagram. I don't know if we've been on Instagram.
I did it in a story, but I could definitely do a post.
I don't know how many.
Kids are on.
I'm probably the youngest person on Facebook anymore, so
What do you think?
I'm about to get off of it. Starting to get a little too.
I love Facebook.
I was just gonna say, so, I mean, I think it's a very safe assumption that if they're getting the information from posts that we're making on
It's the
Facebook,
parent.
it's coming
It's
from
their
the
mom.
parent.
Yeah,
or,
that's
it's
true.
Not coming from the kid,
That's true. I don't have any kids.
You can do a TikTok.
and they would.
There you go.
Would you really do a TikTok?
Yeah, I've been starting to post. I've been
Okay,
starting to
yeah,
post on my
yeah.
phone.
You should do.
I got my kids do TikTok.
Why not?
I opened my mouth. Okay.
I'll put it on Reddit. People read.
Yeah.
People read Reddit.
People
The
read.
Bloomington subreddit is.
Oh.
But I mean, people.
Are we on TV right now?
But I've heard so many responses from people that that's where they get their news.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, a lot of
We should
people.
definitely post it.
and maybe that's the other thing that we should do. Maybe we should send it to some news outlets, the
Indiana Public.
Wilmingtonian, B Square, Herald Times.
Indiana Public.
Yeah,
TIU and
Yeah,
stuff.
we can do all
Oh,
those
TIU
things.
would probably eat that up.
Okay, so this sounds like some other tasks are coming from this. One priority is that we need to communicate with these girls. We need to send them emails, confirmations, start to get them really excited because camp is now 1 week away. Is there anyone interested in working directly with the girls, sending out emails, updates, logistics, managing that part?
For the next week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can do that.
Well,
Or is this
throughout
like
camp.
forever? Yeah.
Let's make a hashtag. Or do girl. Oh, okay, Ashley. Okay. You're younger than everything.
I'm actually a lot older than you think I am. But
You're younger than me.
when
Do a hashtag. So.
Nikki, could we be blind copied on all that communication
Mhm.
initially, and then if one of us needs to take the reins, through, or if you could do the first 2 weeks, I'd be happy to take them over. I would have jumped on it and said yes first. I didn't know if it meant committing to be at the sites during the camps at all.
Oh, no,
Okay.
not the sites,
Yeah.
just the email communication.
Okay,
Sending out the, hey, you're 1 week away, this is where you're gonna be, this is what you need to know, here are your reminders.
Yep.
And all of these things, we can create shared documents that have a copy for it, right? So we can literally create Google Docs that have all of this stuff written up. And you can copy and paste and communicate with the girls as needed. Now, you're gonna be responsible for managing their responses, but we do need this done on a weekly basis, starting tomorrow, because we're 1 week away from camp.
I think it might be kind of cool if that initial email is from somebody, but then it's like signed from all of us, if that makes sense. Like the Women's Commission is so excited for you and all of these things, so that it's maybe just, if you're sending it, Nikki, it's still like all of our names or something at the bottom, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know how anything else feels about that, but.
Do we need an email?
That's what
Do
I
we
was
need
just
a?
wondering if you had, do you have a staff liaison that could send it and it can be signed by all of you? Okay, just kidding.
Don't come over here asking all your fancy shit.
You guys have money, we don't. You hearing this?
So it'd
She's
be-
getting pretzels and stuff, tooth and nail and teeth.
We can help facilitate and then maybe just, I don't know, because it was, because you have a
So,
commission email, correct? No,
no.
you don't.
Okay, hold on, let me take a step back. Because I think I may have complicated this for you all. Okay. Maybe I will just do the communication because it's my email that's on the flyer. So they will
well,
recognize
Yeah.
that, and likely if they go back to ask questions, they're gonna use that.
Well, do you want somebody to write them and send it to you? Because your capacity.
Yeah,
Do
is
you want me to
negative.
develop it? I mean, I can
Yes.
develop it and send it to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I might.
So
I
let's
might put
create
little bit
a
of
Google
information.
Doc and get
Okay.
it shared out to everyone.
Gotcha.
We'll get the edits and then I will do the correspondence. So here are the different emails that we need.
Okay.
We need the welcome email, which needs to go out. I would say, I would strongly encourage tomorrow because that's a week out from the start. But if for some reason we can't get it done tomorrow, let's get it out Monday. Okay, the welcome email needs to include instructions for what to do when you arrive.
Where do I find those instructions?
They are in the collaborative Google folder that we have for the camp. And if they're not, ping me and I will make sure that they're there, because they should be. Then the reminders, so I will make sure that you all have access to that you have access to the form, the registration form, so that you all can see the 3 clauses that they agreed to at the end. So we'll be reminding them that we have a no tolerance policy for hate and bullying in this camp. Students are removed if such behavior contributes to the harm of a student for hostility in the camp. So I'll make sure you have that wording. We also will remind them that parents are responsible for student transportation to and from camp. Drop off begins 15 minutes before camp starts, and pickup must be no later than 15 minutes after camp ends.
Okay, you're gonna send me that.
Yep. And then there was one person or two people that when we had them sign and say that I understand my students' participation in camp may subject them to being included in marketing materials, i.e. photos and videos. There were two people who was like, nah, follow up with me. So I'll go back and do that. And then the other clause that they need to remember is they understand that their student is responsible for bringing their own laptop or Chromebook to camp each time. And if a laptop is needed, this must be requested in writing at least 72 hours in advance. So the welcome email needs to include these things as reminders. Okay. The next email that will go out on Thursday before camp. So the 22nd. And it will be the reminder, we'll be seeing you at camp either Friday or Saturday. And then each week from there on out, on Thursday, they should be getting that reminder email.
So that just needs to be a blanket kind of reminder email, but we're just gonna, you
You
or
got it.
me or whoever can just keep
got
resending
it.
it every Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Um,
So you just want templates for this, and then I'm gonna send them to you, you're gonna say yes, no, change this, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll turn it back to you, you're gonna send it out and then let me know, or should I just plan on being the one that sends out the reminders?
I think I'm just gonna make
Just
it
wanna do
simple
it?
and I'll keep
Okay.
doing it.
It's fine. Okay.
I really thought I was rolling stuff off my plate and it ain't happening that way, but I like that you all are coming up with the copy for it, and I do think it will be easy for them to have one person. To the point about signing it so that everyone knows, I will sign everything Monroe County Women's Commission. I won't even sign my name. I'll just put our title. And if they have any questions, they can follow with Nichelle, but I'll sign everything Monroe County Women's Commission.
Would it be possible for the commission to get a city email? Or city, county?
Don't come over here.
No, we don't have one. We don't have,
Oh.
we have a liaison that sends everything that's on staff. But
The way this economy is set up, probably not.
an email address?
Probably not.
Can we develop a
Just a
commission
email.
email?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Right?
We do that every year. I shouldn't say every year. It happens, but what ends up being the problem is as people rotate off, if we don't get the credentials, then it's always tied back to their personal phone number,
Right.
their email, then you try to reset, you need them to be responsive. I will follow up and see if there's anything that we can do to get some county credentials. Don't hold your breath on it, but I will ask. I have asked that we've been able to get basic name tags
I was gonna bring that up.
that just say Monroe County Women's Commission, don't even have to have your name on it so that we can be identified. Because sometimes I feel like people side eye us a little bit when they're like, why are y'all coming into the building? Why don't you have a badge to get in? All the things. I've been asked for that for a couple years, and we have them or no, we don't. So I will ask the email, but.
When you're asking these things, who are you asking?
Mhm. So I typically go to the county admin, which they work closely with our Board of Commissioners.
Okay.
They are incredibly helpful when there are processes already in place. They are not as helpful when we are talking about doing something different or something new.
Sure.
Should be standard across all commissions.
So just the email thing, because I don't want things to be harder than they have to, and I don't want it to fall like on one
Mhm.
person. So if for some reason, well, if you run into a roadblock with the email thing, then if we're appointing a secretary or something like that, that would be her responsibility
Mhm.
to keep that clean, to bump anybody who shouldn't be on there, change passwords, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
I agree, absolutely.
Because that way we
Really want a
continue to
secretary.
work
Mhm.
without you or somebody being shouldered with everything.
Absolutely. Great idea. Okay. Any other questions about anything that we've shared so far? Okay. Budget review. We ran into that conversation about invoicing. The invoice process was more complicated than some of our partners would have liked. So CWIT is actually going to just go ahead and pay their interns. They're like, we don't know what y'all doing with this invoice and trying to get these stipends. I am still pushing to see if we can get Luddy students paid, but they may end up paying their students on their own as well. They probably will. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep trying to work with the county to figure out what's going on about how we access this funding. Any other questions about Girls Coding Camp?
Yes.
Yes.
So correct me or help me understand what our requirement is for the camp as far as attendance. As
Oh,
commissioners.
great question. Commissioners, you don't have to do anything for the camp because our partners are running the camp for us. So we have interns that are staffing each location, and each location has a point person. So for Luddy School, Tiana, who is a commissioner, is the point person there. For the mill, we have Bram Boyd and Andy Lehman, who are partners for the camp. And then for RBB, we have Megan Scott, who's an instructor at the school. So commissioners, you're not required to be there. You are able to go if you're interested. Pick a location and go hang out. You're not required to be there.
Should we, a couple of us plan to go to the celebration on that Saturday at Dimension now?
I think we all should go if we can.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I just want to put it on, I'm happy to go. I just want it on my calendar.
Yeah, so the end of the year or the end of the camp celebration on November 5th, which is at the mill, time to be determined. But yes, if we can all make it, great. If not, I mean, we'll have representation from the commission because I'll definitely be there.
Oh,
Oh, Davina will be there as well. So anyone who's willing to go.
Okay, so for snack delivery, should I plan on delivering them the first day of camp at the time of open of camp? And then they'll take it over of where they're gonna store them or what they're gonna do
Oh,
with them?
yes, yeah,
Okay,
you just
perfect.
deliver and then they'll go from there.
Perfect, okay.
Is it cold in here?
It is freezing.
Thank you. I'm shivering, my teeth are chattering.
That's my fault. It was really hot when I got
It
here.
does-
So I was like, great.
Type of reading, yeah. Gotcha. Great. Thank you for bringing that up. Those are good questions to ask. Any other questions?
I don't have a question about specifically the girls coding camp, but to be honest, I've had a lot of women, not middle school age, say they wish they had a camp for them. And I said that I would bring it up. I think that that would be a possibility that we could look at in the future, just, a women's coding camp or not convention, what am I looking for? Workshop, yes.
Okay.
Because like I said, a lot of people were like, I wish they had that when I was young, or I would go to that now, or what,
Okay.
stuff like that. But
You would do it too?
Oh, my gosh.
and with
Yeah.
people leaving and switching, wanting to do different careers and stuff in this time. I think that would be cool for, for us to offer to grown females.
Grown women.
Their types.
I agree.
I
I
said,
love the intention of trying to be inclusive
All the-
language. So I think it would be a great idea. I think this is where we start thinking about community partnerships that we can leverage to build programs at that scale, right? Because I can see easily adult women coming and filling this up. So this is where I would say, let's think about what resources are available at the mill,
mhm.
right? Because they are running a lot of programs. You're about to say something.
I have a meeting with Andy actually on Monday for like the entrepreneurship thing for disenfranchised women.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's so many things we could do with my sister's
Mhm.
closet too, so,
Mhm.
like our clients.
Yep,
I mean, it's a great idea.
yeah,
It's just, where do we cap enrollment? I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it could be. But
gigantic.
I mean, they run programs similar to this anyway, and they have, not exact initiative, but they have ways in which they manage the camp. That's why I think we should work with them. Also, I just attended yesterday a meeting, the Alliance for Women Entrepreneurs. It's a new group that just started yesterday. It was our first meeting. That will be another great group to partner with. It's housed at the mill. It is a Mills program. It's another great group right there. And many of the women that I met yesterday were like, listen, I jumped into coding or tech, mid-career, or found a way for, learning as an adult. So let's think about the resources that we can use that already exist and partner and collab to build something.
Right.
That's a great idea.
I agree.
Okay. Last thing before new business, the Be Golden Empowerment Conference. So I brought this to you all last time, and remember we talked about sponsoring a woman to attend. We are able to do that. All we have to do is pay and then just put their name on the list, or we can have them pay and we can have them register and then we pay on the back end. So yes, we are able to sponsor a woman to go. The other thing is we are able to do a buy one, get one free. So if we sponsor 5 women to go, Be Golden is matching and giving us 5 registrations for free. I would really encourage you all to attend if possible. We do need volunteers. I think we talked about in our last meeting, volunteering for the conference. Was anyone saying yes to volunteering?
I wanted to volunteer.
You wanna volunteer?
You had
Okay.
said that at different things that we've been,
Okay.
I was like, oh, I'll volunteer.
To volunteer. Okay. Let me get you some information. The volunteer meetings are next Monday, the 19th, and next Thursday. What day is that? The 22nd? Yes, the 22nd. So absolutely, if you're interested in volunteering, I need an email by tonight so I can send your contact information over and get you on as a volunteer. Volunteers, you get a free weekend pass.
Whoa.
Yes.
I'd like to volunteer.
You like to volunteer? Okay.
That weekend, we have some things happening at my sister's closet, so I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to commit like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but
Sure.
definitely. So
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Perfect.
What's the weekend again?
September 30th through October 2nd.
Oh, there. It's fine.
So this is great. We'll love to have as many of you there as possible. You may see some familiar faces doing some cool things, Check out the website, begoldenstaygolden.com. Let's think about, though, inviting women to attend. We can extend the invitation on behalf of the Women's Commission. Like we can say, hey, the Women's Commission would love for you to attend Be Golden. And again, if we do that and anyone attends on our behalf, we'll get the buy one, get one free registration. Not attend on our behalf as commissioners, but saying, I'm coming because, the Women's Commission invited me. BCSW will send you some information too about Be Golden and see if there's a woman that you will want to sponsor to go, or if your commission would want to volunteer. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Any questions about Be
We
Golden?
don't meet again until after. So we couldn't,
That's sort of
we have to vote to,
Well, maybe you all don't attend as ECSW, but as community members. Any questions about Be Golden? Okay. And then the last part, new business, voter education or registration. It's a big election around the corner. And we don't have to jump too deep into this discussion today if we don't have time, but I want us to think about what can we do to educate people about the importance of voting. Go ahead.
Sandy and I just discussed this morning, my sister's closet usually puts out a voter registration tent for a week instead of just like the one. And we were looking up the dates this morning and my day got away from me, but we want to do that. We have a huge tent we can put out. We already have all the signs. I was gonna get in contact with the League of Women Voters in the area, but I knew I was coming here tonight, so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you're on.
The
I don't know who's,
No, I'm not.
who's in all that.
Yeah.
But we're about to set that up. I don't know if that's something that this commission would want to take part in and be there as far as
Mhm.
education, but I guess in years past, we block off half the parking lot and promote
At
it
my
everywhere.
sister's closet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Sandy has a whole list of volunteers that come to do
Mhm.
all the registrations and stuff. So they bring their forms and everything. So let me get more information if
Yeah.
that's something we would want to collaborate on.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I honestly, I think it's like 2 weeks from now. is
Okay.
When we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
They also have, the League of Women Voters also has, what do they call it? Candidate forums.
Yes.
That I think I'm gonna bring up at the next BCSW meeting to see if we could amplify that.
Okay. Okay, that'd be great. We also, as we think about what we want to do, we can invite women who are running for office to our meetings. Or at least the October meeting, I guess, would be ahead of the election. If we need to call a special meeting, a roundtable, listening session, or if we wanted to partner with any of the other groups in town, I'm sure are going to be doing a lot of things leading up to it. When I think about the Monroe County Black Democratic Party, Monroe, what is it? The Democratic Women's Caucus, like they're NAACP. I'm sure that other entities will be doing stuff, so we don't have to recreate the wheel. We may want to think about who do we partner with and how do we get more information out there about the importance of voting for women in Indiana.
And there's a meet and greet for all the candidates coming up very soon.
Oh, when is
through
that?
the chamber.
The chamber has Elect Connect on
Elect
October
Connect.
3rd.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure, I mean, I think I looked at, they put something out about it this week, and I'm not sure if it's all inclusive. I mean, I think everyone was invited, but I'm not sure if
That
everyone
all the
is
candidates. will be there.
participating.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if that's something we wanted to make sure we were there representing.
yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be there.
I will as well, yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. We'll have representation there. Okay. Then there's a blurb about that.
Can we not just make them?
Do you think that Carl would?
Oh, I know this. I mean, somebody might gift them to us. Is that a thing?
You know, I've never had anyone gift anything to the commission. I don't quite know the rules about it, but I can.
Rules are,
Mhm,
because that would be helpful to know, I bet, for a lot of things.
mhm, mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly we have a need to get some resources, and if they're not gonna be furnished by our county, then we wanna know what our policies are about gifts. Okay, very good.
I just.
Susan and I were at that vigil last night, and that was one of the things. I was like, oh, it'd be nice if, like, people don't know why we're here.
How
because we
was
support it.
it?
I was there too, and with.
Yeah,
They're late, yeah.
and I was like, we don't have any, like, okay,
How was it? How was the event?
fine.
Yeah.
It was a little less, there were fewer people there than I expected there to be.
Okay.
There was a lot of speakers and,
Yeah.
a lot of passion, I think. We did some voter registration.
Very good. Thank you all for attending that.
Yeah, I think we need t-shirts too. We need some merch is what I'm.
I'm all for it.
Thing to say.
Swag, merch, all of it. too.
Last time I was saying
Very good.
machines for.
You're like, these machines.
And they were like devices.
Okay, that does formally conclude our agenda business. Is there anything else that the commissioners need to bring to the table before I ask for public comment?
I just have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to come with a report?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if there would be room on the agenda for a report from there.
For sure.
Okay.
We absolutely want a report from BCSW. Any other?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And you can tell me I should read more, and that's probably true, because I don't remember getting information when I started, and I'm not saying that I don't. And you can say, Susan, yes, I sent you stuff, which it didn't say that. I am curious about what our mission statement is about defining women. Like, I don't know about our inclusivity is what we've talked about. I don't know if it's something we've assumed that we're all working on, or it's something that is stated in our purpose, which,
Do you have bylaws? We have an ordinance
Okay.
that was created prior to my involvement. Well, it definitely was created prior to me being chair. It was created during the time I was just attending these meetings as a volunteer.
Right.
The ordinance, though, governs how our membership is designed. It doesn't have a mission and purpose. The mission statement is available online.
Mhm.
I would encourage everyone to review it. But the ordinance that we operate under is not as, it doesn't give as much direction, I would say.
Right.
There are resources, and I know I sent these, but I can resend these. There are resources that I've sent you all about boards and commissions, the expectations, about the hybrid meeting policy. They are all in that collaborative folder. I need to remember where the folder is right now, but I'll go back and make sure that you all are added to the folder. Ashley, I know that you aren't on there yet. So there's a folder titled Documents, the new board member document is in there, the handbook of Indiana public access laws, the electronic attendance policy, chapter 216 that defines county boards and commissions, and the board and commission Zoom meeting is all in there. I will make sure. Oh yeah, you all are on there. Everyone who's in here. Mhm. But I did not add you, so I can add you to that folder.
In terms of what we define, did you say what we define as women?
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that would be open to the interpretation of those serving.
Mhm.
Well, it just seems like I didn't think about it when I said it, but a good opportunity, especially since 99% of us are new
Mhm.
to the commission and maybe are not clear, but I mean,
At the city level, we've had that conversation before, and we've always said it's open to the interpretation of those serving. Because we can't define
no,
anything. So
Mhm.
for us, and anytime we put out anything, we always are very clear. If we make a statement or a letter to the mayor that we are talking about women and all those that identify as women.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
So we
good idea to bring up.
we say it
Mhm.
in how we present our advocacy.
Mhm.
So
talk about a t-shirt up. I love a t-shirt up. I mean, to me, that's a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Love a good-
yeah. Looks like you're about to say
I was just gonna say, I think that's an important thing for food as we're, talking about who we're including, who we're inviting, who we're supporting, like that we are being inclusive to people's own definitions
Mhm.
for whatever that is. That was something that I wondered about even with the girls coding camp. I was like it's kind of late to the game for that, but I was like, we should probably consider at least being forthcoming that we are absolutely
Mhm.
including all in what we're asking for, who we're talking to or
So does that,
encouraging.
and I will, if I will find it, I don't remember seeing that in my shared, but I will definitely look. Because, still as we're all navigating what this means, like as this commission goes and being now like other boards and trying to figure out what all that means, but inviting someone, to speak to us about the role of trans women in this community or whatever that would be. I would love that opportunity to, engage with a community member that way and see, what they have to say and how potentially we could, assist them in that role.
Yeah, so these are public meetings.
Yes.
Anyone and everyone is invited to attend. And right now, I don't see anyone joining from the public. Tech services, you can let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't see any people from the public right now. But anyone who comes, they are able to offer public comment. They're able to bring things to light. We can be intentional about inviting women from the community to be a part of our agenda as speakers, as presenters. We can collaborate with different groups in town that may be addressing issues based on women. So what you're bringing up is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Anytime I tell people about what I do with the Women's Commission, I always say that my job is to amplify the voices of women identifying citizens. That's how I approach it.
And be clear about that when, and whenever you
Yeah.
do have any official statements, be
Mhm.
clear about it when you make your girls coding flyers,
Yeah.
make sure girls, women, girls, anybody that identifies as a woman or girl. And I think that speaks more volumes than having it down in black and white somewhere for someone to potentially change 10 years down the road. The way that you,
I like that. That's a good,
Yeah, well, I appreciate the language that you just said, right? Like just giving like, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, what's the?
It's not my business
phrasing
to
that
argue
I
with
wanna
anyone
say?
about how they identify, right? Women identifying citizens, that's my job. That's why we're here. So absolutely. Great, great conversation, bring up.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, well, seeing no other concerns, if all hearts and minds are clear, I will take up a motion to adjourn this lovely meeting.
that we adjourn.
Wonderful. I second that. Anyone opposed or all in favor of adjourning at 6:56 PM on 9/15/2022? Say aye. Any opposed? Okay, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you. Tech Services and Kat, as always, thank you for helping us look like Beyonce. Appreciate it.